So glad I'm single. Together, it made a splash at South by Southwest, and now it's out. A brand new body horror film. Body horror is making a comeback. Last year we had The Substance, which totally fucked up our shits. And now we have Together, starring real life married couple Dave Franco and Alison Brie. The big question is this horror film worthy of its nasty premise? Franco and Brie star as Tim and Millie, a couple who's been together about a decade and have yet still to tie the knot. Tim is a musician who's still hoping to catch his big break, and Millie is the one supporting him. She's just got a new job teaching upstate, which means it's time for the couple to move into a new house next to some creepy woods. On their first weekend, they decide to go on a hike in those creepy woods, and lo and behold, they fall down into a cave. But this isn't any cave. The cave seems to be alive, it breathes. And after stupidly drinking some stagnant cave water, strange things start to happen. When they come in contact with each other, their skin seems to start fusing. Tim suddenly has these urges to be as close to Millie as humanly possible. Soon it seems like Tim and Millie literally can't be apart, and the mysterious circumstances surrounding their new affliction will have serious consequences on the relationship. The biggest thing about this movie is the premise. A couple fusing together. It's a metaphor about codependency made literal. That's a cool premise for a horror movie, but it's what you do with it that matters. And first-time director Michael Shanks has some growing pains. Body horror is usually metaphorical. It always takes on many meanings, but largely you use it as a vessel to talk about something else. In Alien, it's about the fear of penetration. In The Fly, it's about the fear of disease. Here, it's about the fear of the monotony of a long-term relationship. What does it mean to be together with one person for so long? How do you keep the spice? Doesn't that grow stale? Don't you get tired of each other? How can you truly love someone if you're stuck with them, and I guess in this case, literally stuck with them 24/7? Well, Shanks does have an ace up his sleeve, and that is his two leads are actually married in real life. Franco and Brie have a natural chemistry. Franco's good at playing lovable losers, and Brie is good at playing high-strung women. So whether they're having an argument or passionately making up, they're always believable. What isn't believable is all the other stuff Shanks populates this horror film with. You see, Dave Franco's character has some trauma in his past to do with his parents, and I guess that's used to explain why he's so reliant on Alison Brie, but for a movie with a concept this strong, it's completely unnecessary, and by the end, it's pretty much dropped. Not just that, but Shanks has a bit of trouble balancing the true horror of the situation with some dark humor. And for a while, he does a decent job. There are some awkward and funny situations here that are also happen to be strange. But as we get closer to the end and this affliction gets worse and worse, Shanks feels the need to explain a lot and kind of blow up this premise into something bigger, something that it doesn't really need. I was fine enjoying this as a small, claustrophobic horror movie, and then he has to go all wannabe Ari Aster with explanations and creepy VHS tapes and occult symbols and all that stuff that really dilutes what this movie is about. And it's about a couple learning to live together through the good and the bad. By the end, it's like that saying, it's putting a hat on a hat, and it's just unnecessary. It doesn't help that the final shot is a punchline, and a bad one at that. In the last few years with A24 horror and now Neon horror, they're a big player in the game too, all these movies have started to feel the same. The same music stings, the same cinematography, the same weird balance of tones. It's been called elevated horror over the years, but honestly, it should be called meme horror. Because movies like this, with cool premises that don't really capitalize on them, are kind of just being made for the memes, just for the TikToks with people going, whoa, that's so gnarly. Or, you guys, seriously, I can't believe what this movie is about. It's kind of just designed for reactions in the moment, and there's nothing of substance after. Where a movie like this that has an emotional core through it because it involves a couple in love should really hit harder. It shouldn't just coast on cool gross out effects, and those are very well done here. In a way, Together could be more ambitious by being smaller. Together is a gnarly and sometimes clever horror concept that ultimately can't sustain itself and squanders a great premise. I give it a forgettable 2.5 stars out of 5. If you like this review, please like and subscribe or follow me on Letterboxd at RamirezS316. Man, people are really going to start thinking I hate horror movies.